Guys, welcome to this video. It's your boy Sammy. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you understanding what chart patterns is. Now, first of all, I talked about the video about reversal pattern. Now, but chart patterns, these are price movement or price actions that happen within a trend. Now, what I mean by the reversal of the last video that I talked about, it's whenever the market wants to go from a bullish to a bearish, it has to give us a market structure change indicator. Now, for example, it has to give us a double top or a double bottom. If the market is bullish, it has to give us a double top, showing that we are going bearish. If the market is bullish, it has to give us a head and a shoulder or a triple top to show that we are going what bearish or a what rising wedge, whatever the what situation might be, to indicate that the market is what turning from bullish to bearish. But now what I'm going to be showing in this video, it's telling you that the market is bearish, but we're going to be seeing some chart patterns happening in the market. But that does not mean the market is going to change. It means the buyers are actually taking a rest before they are moving what to what continue in the uptrend or in the downtrend, whatever the case may be. But I got stuck in this, so I want to reveal the secret of what the market does when it comes to what price actions. So first of all, let's talk about a video here. Now let's look for example here. This year we have different patterns. I'm going to be explaining them differently. Okay, now let's say this market is bearish. As you can see, the market is bearish. We're going down, but something was happening here. Something was happening here, guys. Now what was happening? This was sellers taking a rest. What were they doing? Some persons entered here to buy. That was wrong. I was part of those persons. They were doing that stupid stuff. Okay, some persons, when the market got here, they entered to sell. Now when the market came back here, other persons saw opportunity to say, okay, this market is going to go bullish. This is a double bottom, so I have to look for a way to buy. Guys, I always say this: before coming to look for an opportunity for you to buy or sell or do whatever, please make sure you have gone through the higher time frame to know if the market is bearish. If the market is bearish, go down to the lower time frame and look for sales. Don't buy. If the market, okay, now there's something that happened, and something happened to me some time ago while I was a beginner trader. Like I think it was my first year of trading. When I go to the higher time frame, the market is bullish. I will just come down to the lower time frame and see the market is bearish. I will look for opportunity to sell, and all of a sudden I'll get stopped out. See, the market is bearish yesterday in the higher time frame. Today you come back to the lower time frame, the market is actually bullish. No, that is a retracement move. If you're not smart enough, you will get stopped out, and you will lose money, because the market cannot turn bearish yesterday and turn bullish today. No, it's not possible. That's why we look from the higher time frame to do our analysis. I know that is what happens to beginners. You always want to go to the lower time frame, like 5 minutes, 15 minutes, because candles are easily formed there. Yeah, I understand. You're not being patient. You have to tell yourself the truth, but still you need to do this analysis from the higher time frame to the lower time frame. So let's continue what I was saying. So as you can see, some folks got here sell, some folks, so the market was just confused. So many persons were confused. Why? Because they were thinking, this market is bullish, this market is bearish, no, it's bullish, it's bearish, it's bullish, it's bearish, and all of a sudden you get stopped out. Now let's do this analysis ourselves. This market came here, it went back up, it came back here. Look at what happened. It came back here. This should tell us something. That, hey, remember our analysis. Higher, sorry, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Always have that at the back of your mind. This is how the market moves. So if anything wants to go happen in the market, it has to be what lower high and lower low kind of pattern. That's how we draw our trend line. Since we have lower high, lower low, lower high. So now I need you to understand this trick. Let me open your eyes to see something. Here. Remember, we have this long trend line. Don't forgive my trend line. Let me draw it like this. This is what the market was doing. The market does not want to do something like this and continue going down. It would be wrong. This is something that they were doing. They came back here and they were doing all this move here was to come back to this trend line so that they will continue going back down. I don't know if you understand. This was a secret that I never knew, guys. Let me do it again. This was a secret that I never knew. This market was bearish. Okay, so the market came back here. Then I used to enter here and sell. It's wrong. I need you to understand something. Draw your trend line from the top. Draw your trend line from the top and understand this thing, that the market will always come back to retrace. Okay, and it will come back with some other time and go back to touch that trend line before going back down. This is where you should place your entry to right price to the downside. Okay, now this is called a flag. For traders they call it flag, or for me I like calling it a channel. Yeah, whatever way you're right, you're calling it a channel, you're calling it a flag, you're cool with it, whichever way. But just understand what, that buyers actually, sellers are actually taking the rest. The market is bearish, as you can see it is bearish. So whatever thing that is happening here is just for you to wait. If it happens in the 4 hours, you have to wait for 4 hours candles to be formed here and come back here. Except you want to trade in the zone in the lower time frame. If you're an advanced trader, you can do that. I'm not teaching that in this video. No, I'm not going to be showing that because that job is too complicated. This video is strictly for beginners. So it's going to be happening here like this, and price goes back to the downside. So all what you have to do is this. All what you have to do is this: is wait for the market to come here. How do I mean come here? It will always give you an entry trigger. I've not thought about a video where I talked about candles. I'm going to be releasing it in the future also. How to understand candlesticks pattern. Here is an aggressive shooting star for you to rise price to the what, to the downside. Now this is for a channel. Now forget let's identify three things. One, I know the trend is bearish. One, the two, it's I know that whatever that is happening here, I should wait for the market to come back to the trend line before what, looking for an opportunity for me to sell, for me to what, to sell to the downside. Now the third one is I have to look for only sales opportunity since the market is what, is bearish. Okay, that is all for this rising channel. I call it the rising channel, or you can call it a flag, bullish and bearish flag, whatever. But just understand that this is a channel or a bearish flag. Now let's move to the next one. Okay, this is another one that happens here. This one, okay guys, let me just say this. These are all my experiences in the market, okay, that I'm going to be sharing with you. These are stuff that I saved up in my phone for a while that I've been trading. Okay, this is what I've been saving on my phone that I've been trading. All of what you're seeing here is my experiences. I'm going to be showing what I did. Okay, so this was it. I was on this chart, odd USD. This market was actually bearish. I knew it was bearish. Now look this long trend line that is here, the big one. It was drawn from the 4 hours. It was drawn for the 4 hours. Let me check this time frame that I'm using to show you guys stuff. Okay, this is a 30 minutes time frame. Okay, this is a 30 minutes time frame on odd USD. Now this market was bearish. I knew vividly where it was bearish. I knew it was bearish. So what do? I went to the higher time frame and I drew this trend line. I made sure the trend line was touching major swing point. Now before I continue this video, please, if you don't understand what I mean by trend line touching major swing points, there's a video I left for it, trend line trading strategy, how to draw a trend line. Also, I'm going to be leaving it on the comment section. Okay, it's open there for you to get access to it. Watch the video on how to draw a trend line. The market respects trend line a lot. Okay, and second of all, if you want to join our community, we're going to be starting up a channel in our WhatsApp where you can gain analysis, where you see guys come up and show you what they do in the market and so many stuff. So if you want to be part of this opportunity, I'm going to be leaving the link also in the comment section. Send me a private message on WhatsApp and I will add you to our community. Okay, now let's continue. Like I said, I drew the trend line from the higher time frame, so I knew the market was bearish. So all this crazy move here that was happening, please, you will get tricked out and the market's broke and you are like, we're going to be selling now. No, calm down. You have to wait. All this stuff here is just to grab liquidity and all of that. So the market got to this peak. When I saw price came here, as you can see, this was the highest. This was the highest. This point here was the highest. So when I saw price got there and I was like, should I enter? And I was like, no, I wouldn't enter. Though I have every right to enter and put my stop loss above, but I wanted the confirmation. Now guess what happened? We broke below the trend line. This first break here was an indication for us to know that we are going to be going down to sell. Okay, this is an opportunity for us to know that we are going to be selling. This was the first signal, but I knew that they were going to be doing something crazy. So what did they do? They came to this other block and pull back. Now this was where I entered the market from. Then I placed my stop loss here. It was high, the high risk, yeah, I know, but I was cool with it because I was having a confirmation here that we are going back down. Don't forget, let me say this, guys. I think I should be dropping it at the end. Just stick with me to the end. I'm going to be showing you how to when to enter a channel. A channel after a channel pattern has been formed, when to enter and the possible things to look out for. Okay, let's go on and check other chart patterns. This also is a rising channel. As you can see, this was different from this. This channel wasn't that rising like what we're thinking like this one. They are two different. But please, whatever the case may be, please stay with the trend. That's where the money is. Okay, that's where the money is. All this move you're seeing here is just tricky. It's just to get you stopped out. It's just to get you stopped out and get you tricked out. So you just get an opportunity. Then when I was like, new, I'll just enter here, buy, I'll enter here, sell. Sometimes I do sell and buy at the same time. So it was crazy. It was crazy. But I got to understand this over time. Practice make perfect, like we said. Okay, now this is another one here. This was another one. This was crazy. This is an advanced one. I think I should talk about this the last. Let's move on. I will talk about this as the last. As you can see, we have double channels. Look very well. You see, this was the first one. That was the first time I was seeing all USD do something crazy like this. We had a break, and then we got another channel here that was being formed. Another channel here that was being formed to take price down. It's crazy, but let's talk about it as the last so that we'll not get things complicated here. Okay. Okay, this was a mistake that one of my students made that I decided to outline. Now, if you look this thing very well, you will got to notice something. This market is bearish from the higher time frame. Let me first of all say that. How do I know? Now, let me say that this is lower high. There was a former lower high from the before that. This is lower low. We're expecting a lower high from somewhere here, before riding price to the downside. I wouldn't explain what happened to this market here because it's kind of like advanced. Like I said, I'm going to be sticking to what beginners understand so they can get the clear picture of it. So what happened here? I wouldn't call this a rising channel. I would call this a rising channel rather, because all what is happening here is of three lines, which I don't know how to do this stuff. I just have to talk about this. It's of three lines. There's one here, there's one at the middle, and the last one here. So what is happening here is price is actually going to grab out liquidity from all this zone. Please don't come and ask me what liquidity is. If you don't know, just stick with what I'm doing. I will not explain that in this video. So this was what was happening. We knew that there was a retracement move up to take price. So this was just in a channel. Okay. This, as you can see, the candles are small. So coming here to come and buy, your mind will not be safe. You will not be cool with it because you know the market is what bearish. Let's move on. Okay, first, before I talk about this, let's check this one here. Okay, yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about. Sorry, permit me to move the stuff here. Okay, let's go. Now, as you can see from this zone here, okay, it's better. As you can see from this zone here, this market actually bullish. This is the original market. This was where I entered the market from. I entered here. As you can see, my buy position was there. Like I said, uh this is my setup and what I trade. So my stop loss was a bit below this stuff. So why did that enter here? I will show you some things here that you need to know. I will show you some stuff that you need to know. But first of all, let's come here. Now, as you can see, this is the original trend. This market is bearish, right? But the trend line was broken. This was it. Lower, low, lower, high. Then we got it down, that move. This was the last lower low. This was the last lower low. Guess what? There was a break of structure here. Okay, there's a break of structure. Then the price went up here and came back down to this trend line. Now let me remove all this rubbish I've been writing so that I see where the price came back to. So as you can see, the market came back to the trend line. So this was where I got my possible entry here. Now what happened? We got price up. Look at my trend line here. Now let me reveal a secret to you here in this video. I want you to understand vividly well. Now have you seen the clear structure of what's happening? Now let's zoom a little bit closer. Good. This is what I wanted to do. Look closely, you see something happening here. This market, after it came to this trend line, it moved up. Now I need you to understand something. Whenever the market wants a lot of traders to get involved in a chart, what they will be doing is they will start moving in some kind of funny move. This was a falling flag, or may I like to call it a falling channel. All this move here took about a day plus to happen. Why were they doing this? This market was actually doing this crazy stuff to come back to this trend line here before riding price up. I'll show you what happened. Now this was it. All this move here took days, a day plus to happen. Why were they doing that? They would have just moved a little bit move and just come here and touch it and go back, but they were just waiting for people to place their orders. Now you can see now that buyers are actually taking a rest. I said that in the beginning of this video, that some of the things that happens in this channel is because buyers are actually taking a rest, or sellers are actually taking a rest. The last one we looked at was sellers taking a rest because the market was bearish, but in this case of this video, the market has turned bullish. So now we'll see that buyers are actually taking a rest. Buyers are actually taking a rest. See the video, see the picture completely. This is the original trend line. Now look very well. See, this time zone is 4 hours, but my trend line actually it's from the daily. Okay, it's from the daily that I drew the trend line from, because I wanted to get the big picture. Now this trend line that I drew from the daily is going to be telling me what is happening in the lower time frame, from the 4 hours down to the 30 minutes. That's why I stop at 30 minutes, because all those 5 minutes and 15 minutes are always crazy sometimes. So I stop at the 30 minutes, because that's where I like getting my entry from. Now if you look very well, you will see that this big trend line is actually from the daily. Now whatever that is happening in these 4 hours, I'm going to be so comfortable, because I know why. The higher time frame, this is their trend line. This is their trend line, this big one that you're seeing here. So as you can see, when we got this break here, I knew there was a break of structure, the break of trend line in the higher time frame. I was not panicked. What I was not looking for was a retracement move back to the trend line, and it came. And don't forget, two things happen anytime the market retraces back to the trend line. One is going to be giving you an entry here, and secondly, there's going to be another trend line that is taking you up. Please don't get confused. Let me take this out. There's going to be another trend line that will be taking you up. See the next trend line here. See, this is the next trend line. Now all this retracement move, like I said, was just to come back to that trend line for you to gain an entry to take price to the upside. Now we call this a falling channel, or a falling flag, bearish flag, or be a bearish flag. Now the next one, this was where I entered the market from. I know some of this is what I wanted to talk about. Now is it. I know some folks will be asking, why did you enter here? It's an aggressive entry. I talked about that in the last video. Should I drop the link here? I talked about different type of entry. We have aggressive entry, we have pullback entries, and then I'm going to be explaining to you in this video. Where I entered this market from was an aggressive entry. How? Look very well. You will see a trend line here. Can you see it? This trend line is actually from the 4 hours that we saw. Now let's go back to the 4 hours. Let's go back to the 4 hours. Can you see the 4 hours? This trend line that you're seeing here, let me draw this stuff, was actually from the 4 hours. You remember I told you that whenever the market come pull back here, it's going to be giving you a trend line. See, it was touching here. So I know that whenever a trend line is touching two swing points, I know that it's going to come back to the third one, which was here. So I knew that all this stupid move here was just to come back to this trend line again. So when the market came back to the trend line here, this was where I placed my entry. to take price what above to the upside. Okay, so I knew that the market was doing this retracement move. There's falling channel here to take price to the upside. So let's go back to what I was doing. Now I entered the market here and I placed my stop loss below it. I was so comfortable. I was so comfortable. Now let me say something here. Let me zoom this closely. Now what can you see? What candle can you see? This is a reversal candle pattern. I'm not talking about candle patterns in this video, please. I just want to show you my entry trigger. This is my reversal candle pattern and I was comfortable with it. Now let me say this. In the forex market, we are always detailed. We are always detailed whenever I want to do any stuff. We are always what detailed. Now what do I mean by being detailed? Being detailed in the sense that whatever you're doing, you want to make sure that that thing is something that is working for you. Now there are two chart patterns that I love. I will say love. I will say it again that I love. That whenever I use them, they work for me. This chart pattern, no, candlestick chart pattern. I've not talked about the video, but I'm going to be identifying them here. I'm going to be talking about a few things about them. Now I love reversal, bullish reversal, or bearish reversal. For this one, we are having a reversal hammer. Yeah, I'm not talking about candlestick in the video. Let us just say this stuff, then I'll move on to what we're doing. I saw this reversal pattern. The next one that I love is Morning Star or Evening Star. I love them because they always give me what I want. Yeah. So whenever I see them in the chart, I know it's time for Sammy to get involved. So this is it. Now this is the entry that I got here. This was the entry that I got here. This was the entry that I got here. Now, why did I enter this chart here? This is an aggressive entry. Good. But take note, before an entry will occur, I told my students this, please, there is something that will happen. One, there will be a break of structure. Two, there will be a trend line break. And the last one is the market will have to come and give you a valid area for you to enter. Now, a valid area is, like, we are going to be identifying it, guys. The first one we see there must be a break of structure. Break of structure. There was a break of structure here. If you go down to this hour is 1 hour. If you go down to the 15 minutes, I need you to check this out in this video, okay? Check it out. Go back to the chart. And this happened on the 16th of October. Go back to the chart and check it. And let me know your comments, okay, on our YouTube here. Don't come to my DM. For those guys that have me straight on WhatsApp, come and say it on YouTube. Let's know what we are saying, if it's real or we're just playing here. Okay, guys. So there was a break of structure here in the 30 minutes. The 30 minutes market break above it. Good. We have a break of structure. That's the first one. Now the second one is we have a trend line. Don't forget, this is the trend line that is going as a channel, but there's another trend line that is following it. Let me identify this stuff. Hope I'm not getting you guys confused. Yeah, there is something like that. My trend line is not straight, but you get it from the. If you go back to the 30 minutes, you get what I'm saying. There's another trend line that is following it here, meaning this thing break out of this trend line. This was the last leg. Don't forget, if we say lower high, we have lower low. This thing break and give us lower high, right? Guys, I'm opening your eyes to see some stuff. Please don't get confused. I would love it if you guys can just go to the chat and see it yourself and get to understand what I'm saying, if it's true or if I'm playing. This is another lower. This is lower high. Okay, so we can say lower high 1, lower low 1, lower high 2, lower low. This was the last lower low. That was where I entered. Now, I said for a valid trend for you to enter, first of all, there will always be a break of structure. We have a break of structure, a trend line break. We have a trend line break. Now the third one is this. It must be in the direction of the market. Now the direction of the market is what? Bullish. So for me, I like aggressive entry. So I entered here. Now let's talk about the other entries that you can actually look for. If you miss this one, you can actually look for another entry. Now the other entry will be this. There's another block here, lower time frame. The market will retrace back to this trend line. Don't forget this one, this trend line. It will retrace back to it. This retracement here, there will be an entry. You can enter the market here and put your stop loss here. That's another one. Now, in case you miss this one, That is when we go to the breakout. Now, don't forget, this one was aggressive, this was pullback, and then we are going to be getting on that one. Let me draw this continuation, and the market will break out of this zone and retrace back to it and start going what? Back to the upside. This one here is breakout, pullback, aggressive. Three entries happened in the market. One, we have aggressive entry, which I love. I love I love aggressive entry because that way my risk is always small. I'm not saying I love it for you to go and start trading it. I traded it for a number of years now and it's working for me. That's why I say I love it. So you need to do your own diligence and get your own experience before you say you love what someone else love, so you don't get a problem from it. Okay, now I love aggressive entry, and the next one is pullback. I equally love pullbacks. Most of the time if I feel this one, I fail to enter here or I missed it. Some of the time I might be in the chart and only for me to just go and get some stuff and come back, and the market has gone against me. I was like, what's happening here? Because why it happens most of the time is that I don't like buy limit or sell limit. Yeah, I don't like placing a trade and leaving it without knowing what the market has done. I love seeing it. Yeah, seeing is good business for me. So this is the pullback and this one is the breakout. So we can see the three entries right now. That's it for this particular channel. I love you to go and check this stuff, guys. Euro odd, euro odd, euro odd, and tell me what you think. Okay, tell me what you think. You can actually learn from this stuff and become perfect in it. Okay, okay, now let's go to the next one. Now this is a rising channel. USD Swiss francs is a rising channel. Now what happened here is was the last low like this. The market has been touching the lines like this. It's one of my student traders when I was so happy. Yeah, there's a breakout and a retracement, and market came back to the downside. It's nice. Now what can we see here? 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 Now if you look vividly well, you will see that this market is actually a channel and it was bearish. Let me take this stuff back down. It was bearish. Yeah, it was bearish. As you can see, it was bearish. So what happened? This market here. Now I need you to understand one secret. This was a lower high. The market is bearish, right? Lower low. Okay. Lower low. Then we have lower high. Lower high. Now, if you check very well, this market here did not go above this. Why? It's because the market know what they are doing. If you go to the higher time frame, you will find out something, that this trend line is actually meeting one of the trend line above here. It's actually meeting one of the trend line above there. So the markets know what they are doing. It is only when you come to the 30 minutes or 15 minutes to draw your trend line, that is when you have problem. Go to the higher time frame and always draw your trend line from there. When you draw your trend line, come to the lower time frame and be laughing and look what is happening. Because why? You are on the big side, not on the small side when you draw your trend line from the lower time frame. Okay, this was what? Rising channel or a flag. The market is bearish, so we should be looking for opportunity to enter the zones here. Now this market, let me say something. It actually gave us two entry. One, it gave us an aggressive entry here and a breakout somewhere here. Yeah, we also take price to the downside. Now let's move on. Let's see something else. Okay, now I want to talk about when already talked about how to enter, right? Okay, that will be all for this video, but in case you have a question you want us to give attention to, I will give attention to it. Okay, now this channel is complicated. Let me just quickly say this is for the advanced traders. Now this market happens that we had a first trend, the first channel, and the second one. Now that's because whenever the market break down here, you should be expecting it to retrace back. It should come back to the trend line. Let me zoom this out so it will be better off. Okay, please let me say this: don't rush and enter a market because you have seen a breakout. Don't just rush and enter a market because you have seen a breakout. Always wait for it. Market, they know what they are doing. Provided your market has touched the trend line 2 3 times, they're going to be coming back for it. Okay, so your duty is to wait for it to come back somewhere here for you to enter and put your stop loss. I advise you to put it above to be safe for you to take price to the downside. Now, there are two things that are going to be happening here. We have the first break, right? There's going to be another break here. And then we have a retracement move. And then we have another break to the downside. That's how this market works. Okay. I'm going to be leaving another video on future on how to talk about candlesticks. In case you want to get more knowledge or you want to join our community, like I said, please, before I forget, ensure you subscribe if you gain any value from this video, and watch it again, so because repetition is the father of retention. Okay, I'll see you guys.